Hello and welcome to this edition of Access Asia. Coming up, political turmoil in the Maldives. With the nation under emergency rule, we have an undercover report on the crackdown on dissent. And it's man versus nature in southern India. Rapid development has led to violent encounters between villagers and elephants. And from potent to potable, Indonesia wants to clean up the Citarum River by 2025. Hanging in the balance are millions of lives. We begin with trouble in paradise. The Maldives may be best known for their white beaches, but recently the nation's been engulfed by political turmoil. The president declared a state of emergency last month, raising the spectre of authoritarian rule. Pierre Delroux reports.
It's a dream destination. 1,200 islands in turquoise waters, surrounded by white sand beaches. The Maldives looks like a postcard. But behind the perfect images lies a country in turmoil. The army and police have been deployed in the wake of the state of emergency declared on February 5th. 2 Supreme Court judges have been arrested and parliament suspended. The man responsible, President Abdullah Yameen. Since 2013, he has systematically silenced any political opposition. His near absolute power is particularly obvious in the capital, Mali. Foreign journalists have been banned and some have already been expelled. This footage was filmed with a smuggled camcorder. The only person who agreed to talk is Rujda Rashid. She works for a local independent TV station. Around the city, soldiers and police can be seen everywhere.
This is one of the hot spots right now. You can see a couple of my media colleagues. This is the parliament area, actually. I would advise you to put your camera down a little bit.
What's going on?
Parliament is under closure. The parliamentarians are attempting to get inside the parliament premises. So that's why they barricaded the area.
The elected members of parliament are being ejected by force.
This is the side of the Maldives that tourists will never...
No, tourists will never see this side. In effect, yes, we are in a dictatorial system.
A dictatorship that attracts 1.3 million tourists every year, mainly from China and the West. Once they've arrived at the airport, the holidaymakers immediately head to the boats that will take them to their luxury hotels, where they'll be shielded from the political troubles.
I found out it was under state of emergency like 3 days ago. I thought there would be big protests and stuff, but I haven't seen anything.
I just went from the airport right to the hotel, so I don't know anything about it, or I don't feel it.
Their beach holiday is a vastly different experience than that of the residents. Over the past several years, many human rights activists, bloggers, and other critical of the government have been harassed and silenced. As a member of the NGO Transparency Maldives explains.
People who are living in this country, who have been living in this country, do not see this as a paradise. That what they experience is rather more hellish than anything else.
Everything in the Maldives is set up to prevent the two worlds from ever mixing and to keep vacationers in the dark, because the country's economy largely relies on tourism revenue.
India continues to grapple with face-offs between men and elephants. Rampant urbanisation in the south of the country has increased the number of incidents. Encounters sometimes turn violent. Catherine Viet has more.
In southern India, rural surroundings are losing out to development. Every day, villages are encroaching on natural habitats. As the second most populous country in the world, conflicts between man and wild animals are inevitable.
Five elephants. It's nothing.
Can I go out?
No. Don't go. It is very, don't go. Don't take risk.
Okay.
It is very dangerous.
For centuries, this has been the elephant's territory, but now a roadway has been built in the middle of their habitat. Thousands of cars pass by. The elephants carry on, crossing back and forth and snarling traffic. This team works for the Wildlife Conservation Society. Their mission, to try and avoid confrontations between people and elephants.
They're peaceful right now. They're happily for eating. But the mother has a very little baby. So if we disturb them, then she might get a little anxious and might even, be a little aggressive.
Because they are wild animals, they can also be unpredictable. As seen in this amateur video, the elephant doesn't hesitate to attack, whether it's a motorcycle or a truck. Every year in India, 400 people die in confrontations like this. 100 elephants are also killed. In general, elephants are peaceful animals, except when they feel threatened or when their territory is encroached upon.
They have less space to roam around in, and they require a lot of space. They're large-bodied animals that require a lot of space, but they don't have the same amount of space as they used to. They require a lot of food per day, but that food requirement is also less when the habitat is less.
Indian authorities say the elephant population numbers just over 27,000, the largest in Asia. Villagers construct walls and other barriers in an attempt to keep the elephants out, but nothing works.
If they're coming from a forested area and then suddenly they see a fence like this and they need to go to the other side, then they'll, this barbed wire fence, they just break it and then they go walking.
Little by little, certain areas are being turned into protected zones for wildlife sanctuaries. Dozens of villages like the one here are being relocated as man and elephant learn to share the forest.
The Citarum in Indonesia has been dubbed the world's dirtiest river. Every day, 280 tons of chemical waste are dumped into it, but tens of millions of people depend on the water for their survival.
They call it the world's dirtiest river. The Citarum snakes through the hills of West Java, Indonesia's most populated island. 30 million people here depend on it for irrigation and their livelihoods.
During the rainy season, it floods here with polluted water. My hands become itchy and my harvest is damaged.
There are 2,000 textile factories in the area, providing much-needed jobs. But they're also the cause of pollution, with some 280 tons of industrial waste dumped into the river daily. Mercury, lead, arsenic, the list of toxic pollutants is grim. Mountains of plastic and styrofoam add to what is already an environmental disaster zone.
I am saddened to see my family, neighbors and relatives suffering from diseases because of the chemical waste. We keep reporting these issues to the government, but we never get a solution.
Jakarta is now stepping in, with the near impossible goal to make the Citarum's water drinkable by 2025.
The Citarum is the most polluted river in the world, #1. In the next 7 years, we will fix everything from upstream to downstream. We will work together with the local government, police, military, and the Environment Ministry, and we are optimistic we can make the Citarum clean again.
A pledge that may give hope to millions of people that the Citarum will one day clean up its act.
Well, whether it's ineptitude, as in my case, or apathy, or just an empty fridge, more and more people in China are admitting failure in the kitchen. And that's led to a surge in food delivery. Smartphone apps have shaken up the industry for those in need of a meal and for those who need a job.
A thriving restaurant in Shanghai with no tables or waiters. With just a few clicks, Chinese consumers are creating a food delivery boom. Popular apps like this connect restaurants and home cooks to more than 300 million users. In her Shanghai apartment, Su Xiaosu is busy meeting this demand with her home-cooked cuisine.
365 days a year. Basically, we are never closed. If something big comes up, we will still try and stay open, even if it means delays of 1 or 2 hours. We will never choose to close.
Sue alone can make more than $400 a day from mobile orders. The industry's turnover has soared, topping $32 billion in 2017. It's expected to grow 20% this year, creating new opportunities for people like former factory worker Liu Huafan.
Being in the factory all day, your work and rest time is monotonous, and it's very restricted. After that, I thought about going out and becoming a courier. I feel freer doing this.
He says he makes as much as $1,400 a month, close to the average Shanghai salary. Now some traditional restaurants are changing to keep up.
Right after we cut out the dining in part, we lost about 40% of our business, and I was quite anxious and panicky. After around 3 months, the amount of takeaway orders surpassed what we used to get from dine-in and takeaway combined.
Other challenges exist. Tens of thousands of accidents were blamed on risk-taking couriers last year, and the extra plastic waste is prompting fresh concerns for China's already polluted environment. A game-changing boom, the impacts of which are only just beginning to be felt.
And we end in Australia with a celebration of beauty, just as long as it's business in the front and a party in the back. The town of Kurri Kurri hosted the inaugural Mullet Festival. Over 150 people from across the country took part, but in the end, it was Shane the Shag Hanrahan who won the highly coveted award for the greatest mullet of all. He began growing his back in 1986. Participants said the mullet is not a hairstyle so much as a lifestyle. That's it for this week. We'll leave you with these images. Please stay tuned to France 24.